Hello everyone and welcome to the game 14 of the World Championship match between Yann Nepo and Ding Liren recap. And I'm being joined by the prestigious Mr. Dodgy. Hey.
Hi Laurent, it's nice to be back. Hopefully I'm not muted today,
Yeah.
so people will hear
Yeah.
me, but I'm not
And
100% sure that will happen, so we'll see.
hopefully Peter is muted.
Peter is muted. Peter is travelling in a car at the moment, but he said he didn't want to miss this, so he's gonna sit there and listen quietly.
Yeah. Is he diving? Are you diving, Peter? Can you? No, he's not diving, which is good because he's not a very good diver as far as I know. Okay, back to the game, and what we could expect from the game is from Ding. I mean, like something different, different opening from previous tries, but it was hard to guess which one.
Yeah.
Not the one played on liches, not the one played on in the previous game of the championship. So that was still you have a lot of options, but yeah, that was hard to guess. So d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, and bishop b4. Okay, so this is an Nimzowicz. Of course, in the match, we saw that color reversed. Ding played d5 here. Game that was game 3, I think. Yeah, game 3.
Did you expect him to go back to the Nimzo? I thought he would play some weird d4 sideline again.
Yeah, but which one? That's the problem. Because this Jobavai played it online.
Yeah,
he played the London system. Kompovsky is a bit weak. I don't know. So Catalani tried in these liches games as well. So I mean, like, there is nothing to play basically. So I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. Really, I was very curious. And bishop b4, e3. Okay, so we're back to that castle, and now some little move which doesn't look very impressive, but which became over the last years very, very popular, and couldn't come as a surprise for Nepo. So, and Nepo so played d5, which is very normal, a3, and I would say maybe a small surprise here, this bishop e7, which now looks like you lost some tempi with the bishop. You are playing Queen's Gambit. Some tempi down, but at least the big difference that the bishop can come on f4 or on g5.
Yeah, and you would never play bishop d2 here as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of awkward, I guess.
Yeah, and here, this is a very famous position, which is quite similar to the game you go queen c2 then, but you have the bishop on d2, but you want some time as white, but the bishop is on d2, so it's not easy to say if it's better or not, but I think Nepo was, I mean, it's pretty clear by the time he spent that he was very well prepared, and he knew what he was doing. So c5, takes, and now queen c2, which is very similar to that line with the bishop on f4, but with the bishop on d2. So yeah, that's a problem, because when you will play rook d1, of course, you don't have this vis-a-vis, and the pawn d5 is not that weak, actually. So I guess that's why black is fine here.
Yeah. The commentators seem to think, Fabian Dorberhest seem to think that black was very fine here.
Yeah, this is not something to worry as black. He took on c4, bishop c4, knight b7, playing very fast. And okay, it's clear that now if black managed to play b6, bishop b7, then it will be just fully equal. Black still has to make these moves. So Ding played rook d1. Of course, the idea is to, as I said previously, the idea is to create this, queen and rook on the same file, and trying maybe to go e4 at some point. You don't have to worry to castle because, okay, there is no danger for the king, so that makes a lot of sense. And here he played bishop b7. So removing the bishop, I think it was still part of his prep. And here comes the first big moment, I would say. I don't know what you thought about. I mean, like, I don't know how to explain the next move from Ding, but this is clearly a very aggressive one.
Yep.
So maybe he wants to avoid tiebreak.
Yeah, I thought this was really interesting because I expected him to play a game today, but I really didn't expect him to take any risks. Like, it doesn't seem necessary to take risks here when, you can lose the match today. And this does seem, like it gets. I mean, obviously it's super complicated, and he gets the attacks. So if he's, he's obviously going for a win. But yeah, this seemed very. I don't want to say irresponsible, but it's close.
It feels that it's not going to work actually, but maybe maybe he wanted to put Nepo out of his prep as well and surprise him with some knight g5, which Nepo likes actually as white to play like that sometimes. To play knight g5 h4, this is very much into his style. So I think the best move here and probably the prep of Nepo was e4. You just want to play e5, so you have to stop that. You have to play queen c7 here. Knight b5 now comes, and it becomes very sharp. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is a prep of Nepo. Knight b5, you have to go queen b8. Now I go bishop e2. Why? Because I want knight c7, and actually knight c7 you cannot really stop. Because if you go, let's say, bishop d8, I will just go bishop b4, attacking the rook, threatening bishop d6 is a disaster. So you have to go b6. This is very concrete, actually. Knight c7, bishop b7, and actually here you attack the pawn. You also want rook c8. So first you take here. Computer is showing something very clever, which is rook c8 first, attacking the queen. You have to probably you have to do something like that. Bishop c3, bishop e4, queen d2, queen takes, and you have a pawn for the exchange, and some nice, nice square here. Still on equal, I would say. Yeah. So that was his prep, I guess. So Ding played knight g5, which of course is clearly something he wants to mate. Knight e4, bishop c3. If you give me two more h4, knight e4, bishop c3. If you give me four moves, maybe I create a threat. So so he played h6, h4, and of course you never take that one because takes that would be just a disaster. I think even Peter will agree in his car. It is not good, no? h4. So queen c7 is a good move. And here, I saw Ding was spending a lot of time. I thought his first idea was bishop b3. Why bishop b3? It's very tempting to protect the queen. And you create a nasty threat of playing, if you play b6, let's say, which is the plan to play bishop b7, you have knight d5. And here, if you take here with a knight, I just go queen h7 mate. The queen is hanging. If you take the queen, I go check, king h8, and I win because I take back the queen. So that's why I think from afar, he wanted to play bishop b3 to protect the queen. And then you want knight d5, and you think that black has to move the queen, and it doesn't look really good for black. But actually, probably notice that black has queen c6. And you want knight c5. The pawn is hanging here as well. And suddenly, you don't know what to do as white, simply.
Yeah. Queen's defended. Black didn't seem to have any problems here.
Yeah, you cannot move the knight. You cannot exchange queens. How are you going to continue your attack, if we can call it an attack? So he went bishop e2. And already it backfired. I mean, like Nepo played rook d8, which is super safe. I don't see anything wrong with b6. To play bishop b7 and ask Ding what does he want. I don't know if you noticed something in the commentaries. I mean, like if they gave some idea, because I was checking a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they said here, but yeah, there just didn't seem to be any way to force the attack. Like, okay, if he takes the knight, then you can do a lot, but if he
Yeah,
ignores the knight, then okay, what? How do you follow up? And they didn't. I
yeah,
don't think they could find anything really concrete without black self-destructing, basically.
yeah. So this is just better for black actually, because
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult for white to follow up here. I don't know what was Ding's point. Um, yeah, maybe he realized that this bishop b3 doesn't work, so bishop e2 it's more solid. Maybe some 94 at some point. Bishop f3, 94,
Mm-hmm.
trying already to uh, to stabilize and to make a draw basically. So, but he played rook d8, and well, which is a very good move. And now rook c1 again, again creating this nasty stuff at times. So maybe he wanted rook c1, but then bishop b in that line after b6. Maybe he wanted the same rook c1, but I don't. Now there is knight d5 again, so I just have to remove my queen first, and then I would just play bishop b7. And yeah, maybe the rook will come here, and it's very hard to explain what white is doing. So he played rook d8, rook c1, and knight f8, which was very cautious from Nepo.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, like twice. You protect twice here just to make sure. But it's a lot about nerves as well, because
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much at stake. I mean, you can be just a loser in the
Yeah,
next.
I think like
Yeah.
psychologically, maybe this wasn't a bad try from Ding because like Nepo's clearly nervous here, and he's not naturally, I guess, that good a defender. So I don't think he was comfortable here, but he did seem to work his way through it pretty reasonably.
Yeah. And Dink so play 94 because he has to come back and he has to try
Mm-hmm.
to equalize. But now there's more chances to equalize because knight f8, it's not so aggressive, obviously. So white is fine here actually. So take on e4, which looks very normal. Takes queen takes e2, safety first for Nepo, but this is of course normal move. Takes and bishop d7, and now it's clear that it's white what was to make the draw here,
Mm-hmm.
because black is very well uh, developed, and yeah, black has no problems whatsoever. You want bishop c6, or maybe even sometimes bishop a4 just to harass the rook.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so white has to be very precise, and Ding was not very precise here. He should have played rook c7. Once again, I cannot really. So you just want to distract the hook. Actually, you have to. I tried to make this work, but actually, you're not going anywhere. I mean, rook c2, I would just bishop d1, bishop d3, and I kick your rook out, and it's not much. So after rook c7, you probably have to protect the pawn. And now another problem for white here is that I cannot castle. Why? Because his pawn is hanging.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem. So probably have to play some h5 here. And yeah, black is that's what I like to say here, that black is on the better side of a draw,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is
that's
which is my goal in all Bundesliga games, to be on the better side of a draw. So yeah, but he played bishop before, which is understandable. You want to exchange some pieces, and of course this bishop was attacking that pawn, so takes. But now bishop c6, and it becomes very concrete.
yeah.
And this is typical Ding.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sacrificed the pawn here instead of bishop f3.
Yeah, bishop f3, something like knight g6, and again you have this problem. You cannot castle. 95 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I understand him.
Mm-hmm.
That you want to calculate something forced to force a draw, but and actually I think it was quite well played till some point. So 95, you have to take on g2, otherwise you just agree to a draw.
Mm-hmm.
g1, bishop d5, which is a mistake actually. Bishop c6 was a better move here. Why? Because it's incredibly concrete, and after b5, after bishop d5, I go e4, bishop c6, b5, while here after bishop c6, I go b5, bishop d5, and if you go e4, now I can go b6. So
Hmm.
this is just some nice finesse. While um, if you go here, sorry, after bishop c6 with the bishop on d5, yeah, yeah. Now I would just take back with a pawn, so I can take here, and have this pass pawn, which is very dangerous,
Hmm.
which I don't have with the pawn b5. So that's why you should play um, actually this bishop c6 instead of bishop d5. But again, you cannot explain it. It's just very concrete because you want to take back in that line with the pawn.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know if it's a big or small mistake. What do you think, Peter? Mr. Dodgy?
Um. Yeah, it's definitely a mistake, but I'm not. Yeah, I think probably he should have been able to calculate this as well. This is not
Yeah.
that difficult because there's only two options really. So you kind of have to. Maybe he got confused somewhere because they're kind of. I guess it's one of those ones where they can kind of blend together when you're calculating them and you don't realize the difference. But yeah, it doesn't feel very difficult.
But the problem, in a way, that the other one looks very good as well.
Hmm.
What he did actually, I mean, the position e4, bishop c6, b5, you just weaken yourself. Bishop e8 takes on b7, so you take back the pawn, but now you get the square for the rook. And here I can imagine that Nepo was very happy because he wants rook b8, he wants to take here, maybe rook b4,
Hmm.
maybe knight g6, attacking the pawn, knight f4 is coming. So it looks so shaky for white, so disorganized. I mean, this is typical thing, actually. I mean, incredibly concrete play because I mean, who likes the look of that? I mean, this is just so random. I mean,
Yeah,
like
I think it's
pieces are,
surprising that White's doing okay here. To be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, no, that's true. So he played rook c4, rook d7, knight c5, rook c7, and now you just want to play rook c8, knight d7, and it looks like again white has to find the only moves.
Hmm.
He played rook c3, and after rook c8 here, a big mistake from Ding actually. I don't know. I don't know. Probably didn't want to give up a pawn. But
Hmm.
knight b7 was a very nice solution. You want your knight to d6, so you cannot take, of course, because the rook is hanging. So you have to take here, takes here, takes
Hmm.
here. King d2 first, not to allow any rook c1 check. You have to come back, have the knight on d6, and now my king is well placed. I will go okay one. That pawn is a bit weak, and have enough compensation to make a draw. Actually, a computer thinks black is not even better in that position.
Yeah, this
So that was
seems more practical, I think, to defend because yeah, what can
yeah
Black really do here?
active defense.
Hmm.
As it's very tempting, but I don't know. Ding, I don't know why Ding didn't play it. Um, yeah, he didn't play so far. He didn't play a very good game. That's the least we
Hmm.
can say. Uh,
But he missed another
but
chance to play, I think, Knight B7 as well. So maybe he just didn't notice the idea. I think he
uh,
did. He have? No, maybe not.
here, I think he could make a draw after knight d7, but that was a tricky decision
Hmm.
with king d2. Now knight b7, I would feel safe to play, but here I was checking that one, and now you have to. If you don't play rook c1, you are massively worse. But actually, with rook c1, you make a draw. So first of all, you have to evaluate that this bishop ending is a draw.
Hmm.
While you have this weakness, of course, black is a pawn up, and make it an outside pass pawn. So from afar, I mean, but that's the problem. I mean, you don't want to bank all your World Championship match on on something you feel it's a draw, but
Hmm.
you cannot be sure. But situation is bad anyway. I don't know what was going through the mind of Ding, but probably this kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I
this
cannot.
from a distance, I think this is hard to work
Yeah,
out.
and also you have some king before king a5, which is very important, and king a6.
Mhm.
You have these kind of ideas, but yeah, no, it's very difficult to go for that because if you go for that line and that the bishop ending is losing, you hate yourself for the rest of your life. So I don't know. So after 97, but he played a much worse move. He played rook g3, and here is a very so bye Peter. He left us.
We've lost Peter.
Yeah,
But,
here I cannot really explain to be honest. Um, Again, except for nerves. Nerves. 3 weeks of a very, I mean, just an incredible match with so many ups and downs, a lot of prep, and you are so close to the end that yeah, it's all about nerves. And actually, G6 was simply a very very good move, and you just protect here. These hooks look completely stupid. You will have to take here, and then I will penetrate with my hooks. And the verdict, I don't have a final, but my hunch, I checked a bit with the computer, and my hunch is that it's simply lost for white.
mm-hmm.
And in a practical game, it looks so difficult. What are you doing with your hooks?
Yeah.
That's the problem, because if you go h5, actually I don't go g5. G5 would give you some play. I could go f4,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would be tricky. But actually, I mean, the bishop is just fantastic here. So you take, and if you take here, okay, you Kate, you even worked for me, and Kate a pass pawn. That pawn is still weak. These hooks are active. That looks like a lost position to me.
Yeah, this
So
didn't seem like he was going to be able to hold this one. It was,
no,
but he had a lot of time here as well, which yeah, again, it's the same thing with Nepo. That I don't know.
yeah,
He
if
just
he,
doesn't always take enough time. I guess it's hard for him to judge, like when he's supposed to take enough time, because a lot of the time he finds the right move, he checks it, and he's like, okay, this is correct, and he is right most of the time. So, but yeah, it does seem to be, it's costing him some points anyway.
yeah, but he puts okay. That's he also puts a lot of pressure on his
Mm-hmm.
opponent. So that of course has also some advantages, but of course I don't like it. As well, I mean, like I like to. I don't know. He's not searching for the truth. Yeah, not even close. Actually, he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't care. I mean, like the best move is not. He would choose the practical one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in that match and in the previous one, it cost him a lot of points. And if he doesn't win that match, I mean, let's put it. If he loses that match, he will have a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Uh, that's that's for sure.
Yep.
So he took on c5,
Mm-hmm.
b takes c5. Of course, now you cannot play g6 because there's c6. So you have to take here and rook g7. Now there's enough play.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you did activate the both hooks, so um, now white has a lot of counterplay.
Yeah.
Enough. I mean, enough counterplay. King f8, bishop d3, which is a nice move, protecting everything. You want to go. You want to move the king
Mm-hmm.
without letting the rook enter on c2. Rook d8, and here again some mistake from Ding. He played the very obvious king e2. This is the move you play in blitz
Mm-hmm.
at tempo. And the right move here is a bit counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Is to go king d2, and you just step in the pin. And why king d2 is better than king e2? Because king e2 controls the square on c3. And
And the tactics just don't work
yeah,
out.
after king e2, actually, he played rook c3. That was the game.
Mm-hmm.
And after king e2, you don't have rook c3. And it's very important to note that after bishop b5,
Mm-hmm.
of course, I have rook g8, king e7. I can take here, take. And this kind of hook and game, we'll talk about it later,
Mm-hmm.
probably. It's actually, I mean, the hook is too active. So, yeah, it's a fairly easy draw. Generally, you go here, you go behind the pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And with your hook, you will create some counterplay, and it's a draw simply. Pawn is not enough because actually the king. If you want to win this kind of endgames, you have to go at some point with the king to the queen side, to the a1 square, but you will have to give too many pawns on the king side, and white will have more than enough counterplay. So he played king e2, and now rook c3, and again his position is stable. Rook g8, check, king e7, rook 1 g3, he has to protect that guy. And here is a big moment. Here is a big moment for Nepo, who played the very logical. He played the very logical e5. But once again, chess is a concrete game, and yeah, it's not good.
So why did he play e5? What's because like rook b3 looks very blunt, but kind of it looks clear that you're gonna grab that pawn, I guess. So and keep
Yeah,
more material on the board. So what's his idea with e5? He just wants to stop f4, or
yeah, you just want to. It's just a positional move, I guess, against the bishop.
okay.
He probably thought that white was completely helpless and has to wait, which actually, I mean, makes sense. But it's not. It's not really the case. Also, after rook h8, he wanted to protect that guy.
Okay.
That,
Yeah,
which,
that also makes sense.
yeah. Because after rook b3, if you go rook h8, now actually you have to see that there is rook d4, and if you take here, there is a problem on d3 because takes, and bishop b5, which actually that trick didn't work before. Let's say here, because I will just play here, check on intermezzo, and the pawn. Okay, you have to go to the rook endgame, which is again a pawn up, but the pawn ending is just well, white is not worse. It's a draw. So if I have the idea, you just thought, okay, I will protect here, and rook h8 came, rook d6, but he missed a very nice defense by being very concrete again. He has to do it. I mean, that's for sure. And he found it with he was freezing. I don't know if you saw, but I mean, he was just freezing and couldn't force himself to do it. But at the end of the day, he did it, and he believed in this, saying that all hook games are done. And once again, it was true. So b6, surprising move, giving up the pawn. What is the idea? The idea after rook takes b6, he wants to take here.
Yeah.
King e8 and bishop b5, and you just collect the rook, and you have this rook endgame, which actually it's a fairly easy draw. Actually, the only case you want rook c8, rook a8. So let's say if you wait, let's say you go. It's very important that here you are active. If you go king f3, then I will just go a5. I will go a4, rook a5, and I'm winning. Actually, black is pretty close, but you have to play very, very actively. So you cannot go behind the pawn. You have to attack another one. So he's playing rook f3, attacking on f7. This is absolutely forced. King e7, and now rook c3 back to get the rook behind and to be able to. Why the rook will be better placed behind the pawn? Because it will protect. It will control in a way the pawn, and it will also attack, create some counter attack on the black pawns on the king side.
So how confident would you be holding this endgame against, say, I don't know, Nepo? Do you think this is dead, or
no?
Would you be worried? You'd be worried.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm always worried. But Ding was worried as well. I mean, if Ding is worried, I mean, he looked very worried. I can understand him.
For sure.
I mean, no, you can never. I mean, you feel it's a draw, but you feel you can go wrong as well. Yeah. And that's very easy to go wrong here. So, but actually, I think that Ding would hold it in a 3+2 game. Let's say in a blitz game. 3+2, I think he will make a draw because the moves he's making are absolutely natural and logical.
Mm-hmm.
So probably would make a draw even in a blitz game.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with classical. You have time to worry, to not to play the first move which comes to mind, to
Mm-hmm.
to create some bad scenarios and so
You
on.
get the
So
doubts and then double
yeah,
double
exactly.
check everything. Yeah, it's rough.
So check king f6, rook c6. King has to come here to protect here. King v7, rook a6. The rook is behind the pawn. Black should do same. If they want to progress, they have to put the rook here and push the pawn. So rook b2, king f3, rook a2, and here big decision actually.
Uh-huh.
Um, do you want to go h5 or not h5 or let black play h5? I honestly don't know why he didn't play. I thought h5 was more. Uh,
Yeah, maybe he's worried that not that it's. I mean I know it will still be a draw, but like
Maybe he was worried about that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you mean
you
like
have to
I'm
like
just.
if you end up trading the a pawn for the h pawn at some point, and then even though you like it's still a draw, but you have to make the draw all over again. Like you carry on for like another. He shuffles around in this one for like 50 moves, and then you switch to the next endgame where
Ah,
you just suffer for hours. Like I don't know. Maybe that was his thinking, because I guess it just does fall off here. Maybe.
yeah. Actually, what do I mean? How do I? Let's say I go king f3, king f8. I will try to come with the king, but actually I will never be able to. That's the problem. That if I let's say I go king g2 here, king e7. Let's say I will help you. No, now it's lost because king f6. Yeah, that's what I want to prevent actually. If the king manage, oops, sorry,
Ah, okay.
if
Yeah.
the,
So
the
this is
king managed
another
to
problem
go,
as well. Yeah.
yeah, the king managed to go to g5,
Mm-hmm.
then it's lost. So you have to stay here and to play king f3, king g2, or king g2, king h2. And actually, the king. This is very interesting actually. So here, you go here, I go here, and I always have to prevent your king from going actually that direction. Because if you come here, and it's not really a problem because when you come here, I will give some checks and let's say something like that. So here you want to queen, but now I have checks, and that's the problem of pushing a2 that you have nowhere to hide with a king,
Mm-hmm.
and really you cannot really take a pawn as well. So
Yeah.
yes, that's just a draw. But okay, decided not to go for h5,
Mm-hmm.
um, which was a big decision actually. And both are fine. So yeah, that's the problem. That in a classical you can think here for half an hour and you don't know what is the best, and
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
actually both are completely fine. So okay, one okay, okay one king g2,
Mm-hmm.
a4, a5, f6, king f3. Okay, white has nothing to do but wait.
Mm-hmm.
A3, okay, 6. Okay, 6 is the right square for the rook. Why? Because when the king is coming without the pawn on a2, you want to be able to take immediately
Yeah.
and to win some time. So king f7, king e3, king e8. And here, of course, he played king e3, which was also good, but a decision, of course, you cannot take here because a2 would come with check. That's the
Mm-hmm.
problem of having the king on e3.
Yeah. And you can
So
never go to the d file either. So the king's not really threatening to come across to the pawn.
yeah,
It's,
exactly. Now can you uh, after
you still have one move, I guess. That you can go
yeah,
back.
because a2 I just go back. Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
because if I go as you mentioned king c2, that was your thematic idea,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually winning. Normally you lose all, but here it's the same anyway. The point ending is completely lost. So yeah, he played king e2, so now he's starting to take. Nepo played king e7, king f3, waiting. Okay, 2, king a3, okay, 1, king e2, king f7. You just turn around, make some moves, ask some little questions. I think this is, of course, very practical, and why not?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Nepo did that, king f3, okay, 2, king e3, king e7, king f3, king d7. Now he's offering the pawn, he wants to go there. And the idea to have the rook on a2 is that you will be able to. It's better than on a1. Why? Because if I give the pawn in, let's say, king e2, if I give the pawn here, I cannot really. Uh, Here you go k6, and if I have the rook here, I can push
Yeah.
a2. That's why it's important to have the rook on a2. And uh, when was that? Rook takes f6, rook b2, and now a2 is coming. Of course, black is super safe. No worries. But and white has to be clearly precise. So he gave a check here. The idea is to cut the king
Mhm.
and to come here with the king. So he changed. Actually, I thought that's that was that was also possible to try to play for a win. But actually, it doesn't really matter because you are never threatening to push. And I will go king g3 and f4,
Mhm.
and I will create my passer as well. So b3, king g2, king g7, and now very nice defense by Ding. But this is forced. Actually, you cannot wait and see because the king will come. It will come here.
Yeah.
It's just a queen. So you have to create some counterplay, and this is the way you create a counterplay. You create a pass pawn, even if you lose a pawn, takes an e5,
Mhm.
and now the king actually has to keep an eye on that pawn
Yeah.
and cannot really come here. So that's the concept. And if you lose, let's say if you exchange the e pawn against the a pawn, then it's just very easy though. This f pawn is never enough to win. Even f and h actually is draw. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why.
there was some worry that he would end up with F and H, which
Uh-huh.
okay, it's a draw, but after 6 hours,
I
it's
lost
not
it.
really what
I
you want.
lost it few years ago. I lost it because, as you said, after 6 hours, I mean, I couldn't. I didn't know. I mean, I was in trouble the whole game,
Mhm.
and tough game, tough defense. I was tired, and I lost. I lost this F and H. Uh, I don't know. It just turn, and I made a mistake. So
Yeah.
this is very possible to lose it. I think that Ding would defend it. So
Mhm.
king b7, rook a4, king c6, and now rook a6, king b5, rook a7, making sure we have our counterplay. So yeah, there is not much to do here as black.
Mhm.
King b6, because if you go, you have to be careful. Actually, I mean the pawn is very dangerous here. So you cannot allow. Let's say if you go king c4. I just go e6, and my pawn is very close now. If
Mhm.
you go k3, I go king e7, king b3, and actually you will. The problem here that you can go here and here, but when I will give check,
Mhm.
you cannot cover with the rook because I will queen.
Yeah.
So there is no way you are going to queen your pawn.
Mhm. Yeah, this is important, and the F pawn just never does anything. It's just
Yeah, yeah, it's
useless.
just a check. Yeah, f3, king f2, and that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, king b6, rook a8, king c5, and now very important, of course. He wants to collect the pawn. So now you just go okay 6, you cut the black king, and you will go e6 after king d5. You go e6, and that's the same story after ok3. I can play e7, but even if I wait, yeah, you will have to. That's the concept that you will have to take here,
Mhm.
while I will take your a pawn. I think it's just e7 is the simplest. Obviously, I want to take here. You have to take. I take here, and this is a very simple door.
Mhm.
So okay 6, king b5. Okay, 7, king b6, rook a8, king c6. Again, all this rook ending, we see a lot of back and forth. Okay, 6, king d7, king f2. Now waiting, now the king is cut. So you just move your king actually as white because the king is cut. So it can never come. So you certainly don't want to lose that rank.
Yeah.
G3, king f2, g3, king f1, c3, king f2, g3, king g2, king d7, king f2, king c7, and now he doesn't want to give a chance to Nepo to come here
Hmm.
and create his counterplay. And again, king d8, and now rook a7. Again, the same concept. You cut the king.
Hmm.
If you take here, it's not a problem because I will take, and you cannot do anything as black. So he went king e8, king g2 came, and actually here Nepo is just out of ideas simply.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, the king cannot come. This pawn is dangerous, and he's trying to get f and h, but even that he cannot get.
Yeah.
Not, I'm not sure if there was a way. I don't think so. No, there was a way, a clean way. I mean, to get the proper f and h, because here he's getting it with rook g6, rook g4.
Hmm.
Um, but the king is too far, and he's losing the f pawn immediately.
Yeah.
So rook g4, rook a5, attacking on h5, rook h4, and this is the last precise move. King f3 to play rook f5 and take here. So Nepo played king e7, rook a5, king e6. Takes on f4, rook takes a4, and I think he offered the draw,
Yeah.
and that means 7 all tie breaks.
Boring match.
But
Equal again.
that will be exciting. 4 games.
Yeah. Four rapid games tomorrow, and then pairs of blitz games. There's no
That's a
Armageddon.
blitz game. So finally, Magnus may get in tomorrow. That's what he wanted. 4 games a day, 4 rapid games. He loves this format and these tie breaks.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So
I think it is a good format for rapid chess. So
yeah.
my main criticism is that his idea is good, but then they should just have the Rapid World Championship like this. Like, it's the Rapid World Championship's fault, not the Classical World Championship's fault.
Okay. Okay. Oof, that's a strong take going against Magnus. Come on.
No, I think his format is really good. Like, I would love
But
to
it's
see.
a rapid world championship. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I would love to see Magnus play 50 games against, Alireza,
Alireza?
Hikaru, Nepo. Like, I think that would be very entertaining. And the same for blitz games. Like, play 100-game blitz matches. I think the main thing from this match is that matches are really fun. Like, I think even without having Magnus, people have enjoyed this match. So we don't get enough matches.
Yeah. Okay. It could become very boring if you have like, let's say we are lucky. It's what Magnus. I checked some. I'm sure you did as well. Some extracts from his interview, and he said that if someone is trying to kill the game, as he did actually as black, our goal in general, except against Kawana where he played the Sveshnikov, but in general our goal was just to be solid because as black and to create chances as white because he's. But okay, we also had the better player, so
Yeah,
if you get.
I agree, but I also think even in those matches, they get more interesting as it goes on naturally because it gets more tense.
Yeah.
Every time you have a draw, even if it's not an exciting draw, it gets a little bit more tense. And by the time you get to games 8 till 12, it's always very exciting because the stakes get higher every time. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it works.
Interesting. So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. We saw. I don't know what the history of. It's a recent change. These tie breaks. I mean, like from. I think the first tie break was in Elista for this Kramnik infamous Kramnik Topalov match. So that was already 4 rapid games, and since then Magnus played twice the tie breaks. Also Anand Gelfand finished in tie breaks. I think 4 or 5 were played already.
Yeah.
And
Who's your prediction? Who do you predict will win tomorrow?
I think Nepo is a favorite, but I mean this is too good a story for Ding. I mean now I believe in Ding because this is his first replacement in candidates and first replacement for the match, and his prep is leaked. I mean not leaked, but I mean he's like he's playing his game on chess, and you can find his nickname. And with Richie, they are listening to music.
Yeah, and also he came from behind 3 times.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
he's
like,
completely lost.
if this was the Queen's Gambit on Netflix, people would be like, okay, this is unrealistic. It's too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
This is just over the top. You know, the writers have got carried away. But
Exactly.
we'll
And
see what happens
then
tomorrow.
and then tomorrow, if Ding wins, they will say, of course, yeah, of course, that was that was written. So yeah, I think Nepo is stronger in our opinion, Blitz, but yeah, this is about
Mm-hmm.
nerves, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what's your take on that, but
No, I agree. But I think Ding maybe has slightly better nerves so far. So we'll see. I noticed that Ding is a lot higher rated in Rapid. I know the
uh,
Rapid ratings are not as serious as the classical ones, but there's like 70 points between them. So
70 points, yeah, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, but yeah, for Nepo, it's let's see in which shape he is.
Mhm.
I mean, like that will be very important because he missed another chance today. Let's face it. I mean, on many moments actually, and there's no free day,
Mhm.
so he's very emotional. So he will think about it for sure. But on the other, I mean, like I can find both ways. I mean, in the opening, he's doing incredibly well. I mean, like what is Dean going to play now as white? I mean, look, after 10 moves, he was worst as white. Isui Lopez is doing kind of well, but I'm sure Nepo has still some ideas.
Mhm.
So opening wise, it will be very difficult for him.
Yeah, I think it'll be tougher in Rapid, maybe. But then
Yeah,
he has a little bit more flexibility in Rapid. You can maybe get away with some more risky stuff. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow.
yeah,
I think it'll
we'll
be
see.
fun final,
Yeah,
fun
it will
tiebreaks.
be very exciting. Thank you.
Okay.
I hope we will be joined tomorrow by Jan. Jan, if you are listening, we are here, and Peter. Thank
Yeah,
you.
hopefully.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Bye bye.
Bye bye.